Today, I'm going to show you step by step how to create a complete Power BI report from scratch, packed with professional design elements and interactive features. Beyond just building the reports, we'll be going to transform them into dynamic dashboard that not only present data effectively, but also look visually stunning. So we are going to transform report into a stunning dashboard. We'll design some stunning visuals that will captivate your audiences. We'll also use bookmarks and how the bookmarks can be used in Power BI and how the bookmarks can be used for the filters and so on. So we'll add the custom filter buttons. We will also create the custom slicers. We'll also work at the canvas background, report background, and even the filters background. We will also see how the synchronization of the filters can be done across all the pages. We'll also keep the visuals clean and organized. We will also explore some tips using custom design, interactive filters, and how to change the entire look of your report. By the end of this video, you will be equipped with the skills to create Power BI report that not only communicates data effectively, but also impresses your clients and colleagues. So if you are ready to set up your Power BI game, make sure that you grab a cup of coffee with you that I'll be also taking throughout this journey, and we will transform a plain report into a visually stunning and interactive dashboard. Stay tuned till the end of this video and see how we can use it. So here I am in Power BI desktop. And in Power BI desktop, right side, the section is data, where all the tables are connected right now. And these are the visuals, and here is the filter. Now, these are by default, these three sections available here. And on top, you can see these are all the menus. And if I go here to view, in view, you can see here there are three more sections, important sections, which is bookmark, selection, and sync slider. We'll be using all of these to create the report and to make sure that report is interactive. So first of all, I will be just hiding these. You can see here down, or you can go here on view mobile layout. So there is mobile layout also, and there is the web layout or the desktop layout. So these are two layouts which are available. So first of all, I need to change the background of the canvas, and I want to change the background of the page as well. So you can see here, this is the page. I will be creating a summary page here. I will give it a name summary. And in this summary page, I will create the background and I will be duplicating the page so that I don't need to again and again create the background here. So if I go here to right side, you can see here the visualization. In visualization, these are the visualization that we can drop. But here on the right, you can see here format report page. So if I click this format your report page, so one is the page information, one is the canvas setting. So I will go to canvas and I will change the canvas background here, and I will do it black. And again, I'll go here, and in the wallpaper, you can see here wallpaper of the page, of course. Here you can see I can change the background of the page. There are two options, of course. You can go with your own image. I have provided you the image link also. These are some of the backgrounds. This is the background which I like the most. You can use this as a background also. It depends on how you want to see it. During my implementations, I have seen the dark purple background really becomes attractive, and it grabs the attention of the clients or the users or the colleagues who are consuming this. So we'll be using the same strategy here. I will be going here to the wallpaper, and instead of image, I will be removing the image and I will go to color. From the available tiles, I'll be choosing this dark purple here. And here I will just go back and make it little more darker, like, and little bit blue touch. So it will be like this. So this is, you can take the hex code also here, and even RGB code also 26042. Now I need to, of course, first of all, have a logo of the company. I'll just go into insert, and here is images. Here is the logo which I'll be using, and I'll be adding a text box also here, and I will give it a name, for example, project. So what I'll do now, I will, of course, I need to change the background of this. I don't want the white background here, so it should be without background. So how you can change the background? First of all, I will just increase the size of this, maybe 20 will be fine, and here I'll be changing its color to a light purple here, this one. And now I will change the background. So you can click this and you can go into the format text box, effects, and in effects you will just turn off the background, and then you can just change the size. So this is the title of the report, and of course it depends on how you're comfortable with. Maybe I will be just changing its size to 14. All right. So here what I want to do, I want to add some information here on the right side, which will be the project, what is the latest date of the transaction. So of course the data is dummy here. So what I'll do, I will just drop the transaction date here. Here is the transaction date. And I will be converting this to the number card. So here you can see this is number card here. Once it is changed to number card, you can see here Monday, January 1, 2024. So this is the earliest transaction date. So I will be just clicking here and the latest transaction date. And now you can see again here, the visual doesn't look good here. A reason is because the date size is so big, and even if I reduce the size also here, it doesn't look good. So what I need to do, I need to change the visual color. I need to remove the visual background, and I need to add the text color. Of course, now text cannot be changed here. I need to go to the visual details here. So you will click here on format your visual, and in format, I will be just expanding it. Category label, I don't want the latest transaction date label here. I want to just disable the label. And category value, I will be changing its color to white, and its size will be 12. And in the background, I will just go here to the general setting, and I will be removing the background in effects. Now you can see here that the background is removed, and here I can keep it like this. And I need to of course add the title, that what this date is. So I will just copy this one again. It will be latest transaction, and I will just keep it on right and just move it here. I need to also show here at the top number of projects. And so I will maybe copy these both, and I will just move it over here, and this will be total projects. So how many total projects the company is doing, because we are doing the project portfolio information. So these will be open projects. So the projects which we are doing right now. So completed projects I don't want to show here. So these will be open projects. I will simply move it here. And this one I can change because I already formatted the visual. So it's a good idea to copy and paste the visual and then change its call out value. Size will be, because this is small visual and number, so I will be changing it to 16. But what is the data here? If I click on add the data to your visual, so this is latest of transaction date, but I want to get the projects, and I want to take any project ID here, and instead of sum of project ID, I will do count distinct. So count distinct will ensure that if the project ID is also repeating, so it will only take those projects. Right now you can see there are total 70 projects, and as we have already seen in our database also, which we were using it before, that we had 70 rows in the project. So it means total 70 projects are there. But of course, I want to make sure that the portfolio is only related to the current projects, open projects. So I will show you that also, how we can see that during using filters. You can see here total number of rows in this particular table, which is projects, is 70. So that's where we are able to see 70 here. But I want to make sure that only the open projects will be available. That we will see it later, but first let us design this completely. Now I want to make sure that all of these are organized in a proper way. You can select these all. You can go into format, and here align top. So we will do align top. So now I need to separate this heading, and here I can bring in a line here. So I will do insert and insert shapes, and in shapes I will draw a line here. So that line I can just take it till the end, and here we'll just bring it down here. So I might change its color again to light purple. Shape, so I'll be clicking on border, and here in color I'll be choosing light purple, and then maybe you can add the transparency to 51%. So this will look like this. So I can just click this and move a little bit up so that you get enough space here for the visuals. Now I need to add, of course, contract value of the project. What is the performance of the project? So it could be anything which the company is asking from you. So what we'll do now, we will be adding other visuals now. For example, I will be just copying this and I will be adding it over here. Here I can, of course, enable the title, or I can enable the category label. So I will enable the category label, and here I will be again changing its color to maybe yellow, and then the call out value I will be changing it to 30. In fact, 36 will be a good idea here, so I'll be changing it to 36. Now what I want to bring here, I want to bring the contract value, because you have to first of all learn from your table that what is available here. So you can see here in the projects, here is contract value. So I want to drag and drop the contract value here, and this should be the sum of the contract value. Here you can see sum of the contract value is 35 million US dollars. So here the amount is definitely coming from the table. This table has the 70 projects, and you can also open the table here, of course, projects. Once you click this, you can see here in progress, completed, not started, completed, and so on. These are various project statuses, which also we will filter with. Start date, end date is also there. Budgeted cost is also there. Right, so what I'll do now, I will just change the category label here. So category label is coming from here, field name, which is projects and contract value. I will be just changing its name to contract value. Visual will change here as contract value. I want to keep the size same. Just make sure that its size is set here. I will do 100 as height, and maybe 250 as width. So let me do 240. Now what is happening here, this is the contract value of the project. So I will be just keeping it here, and call out value, I will be changing it from white to maybe light green. So I will just go here, green, and maybe light green like this. As I mentioned that we need to create the filters also. How many projects are completed, or how many projects are not yet started, how many projects are in progress. And if I want to filter the dates, that on which specific date, what was the progress of the project, how much revenue we have captured, how much cost we have incurred, and so on. So these are all the filters that I want to add. But I don't want to disturb my view of the report. I want to make sure that filters are kept separately, and filters are also applied to multiple pages. So we'll see that how we can do it. Let me show you. We will create a separate section for the filters. Maybe on the right side, I will add a filter section here. So what we'll do now, I'll be adding a shape here, and in this shape, I will take this rectangle shape. Color, I'll be changing it to this one. Yeah, this looks nice. I will change the shape. So what I like is pentagon arrow, and I will be changing its direction. So I will be rotating it to 180 degrees. In styles, we will not add the border here. Fill will be fine, but in shape, we will not add the border, but we will drop the shadow. So we will drop the shadow as a white shadow, or maybe light purple shadow on the left side here, bottom right. So it will be bottom left like this. I want to add a filter button here. I have created some buttons here in Canva. I'll show you that. These are some of the Power BI buttons that I created. So information, home page, and filter, remove filter, back, and so on. So what I'll do now, I have these buttons that I'll share with you also. I'll be just inserting image here and Power BI buttons, and I want to open the filter button here. I'll be adding that filter button over here. What will be the action added to this button? I will show you that also. Let me first of all do it like this. Here you go. Now, when I click this, of course, I want the filter panel to open. How we can open that? Of course, you can see here action. Action is off right now. If I on, and then it will ask me action. There could be various action, back, forward, clear all sliders, and so on. Of course, we can also open a website from here if you want. We will be doing the bookmark here. So I will show you how to create the bookmarks. For example, I will be just creating these two visuals that I have added here, these two images, or one shape and one image which I have added. I will click here view and sections. I will first of all go to sections. You can see here these are two items that I have added. I will first of all name them. It will help you to understand that which particular section of the report you are working on. So I will be just naming it. Double click this and it will be filter button, and I will name it right rectangle. And these are cards. You can see here this is one card. If I click this, it will show me cards, so it will be contract value. So we will be changing the names. So I won't be doing it right now, so you can do it later. What we'll do now, we will be just grouping these two, this and this. I will just group it and I'll show you why we are grouping this. Group here. Now you see here that this shape is grouped. If I want to hide this shape, this group, the group is hidden. If I just enable this, it is shown. So why I'm doing this, let me rename this also. This will be right rectangle. So right rectangle group is here. So it has these two items, and if I show this, it will appear here. Now what I want to do, that the moment I click this, I want to open the filter pane and I want to hide this pane here. So let me first of all create that filter pane here. For example, once I click this, I want this particular these particular visuals to be dimmed. So in order to dim that, I will add another shape here. Let me first of all reduce the size here. I will add another shape, insert shape, and this will be this shape here, and fill it with a, change its color style. Color will be black, and at the same time I want to add the transparency here, so that once this shape is hidden, so I'll show you what I mean by this. I want to remove this from this shape, so it will be outside this. I will name it filter shape. I want to bring this just after this rectangle, filter shape here. Now what I want to do here, when I click this button, so this shape will be available. Let me first of all add the filter pane here, that okay, on this filter shape, let me hide this rectangle, and I will add one more shape here now, where I'll be adding the slicers. So this will be the shape, and I want to open this like this, and shape will be, I will do it rounded rectangle. Maybe it will be rounded rectangle, and percentage I will change it. Yes, this looks nice. And for this particular shape, I want to have the shape color which should be different than purple and black. I will be changing its style. I might change it further, dark it. Yeah, let's do it for the time being like this. And I will add one more button here, and that will be back. It will be a back button here, and back button over here also. Okay, so we have now this filter shape, and with filter shape we have, let me select all these. So outside, if I click this, I have one shape, this, and another shape is this image, and this shape. I want to group them all because this will be my filter pane. So here I group them, and I will name it filter pane. So this blue shape, I want to bring this into filter pane. So I will move this shape here, and on top I want to bring this back button here, and this button also I want to bring top. So that's the reason this selection option is important. So how you can get this selection option? If you go into view, this is the selection option. So make sure you enable the selection option, and then you will be able to design your report in a nice way. So what I want to do here, that the moment I click this button or here outside, I want this shape or this group to be hidden, which is filter pane. So when I click this, it will hide the filter pane, And when I hide the filter pane, right rectangle should automatically appear. So what I'll do now, with this particular setting, I want to add this as a bookmark, and with this particular setting, I want to add this as a bookmark. So what we'll do now, I will go here to view. In view, we will click on bookmarks. So right now you can see there is no bookmark added. I will add the first bookmark here. Filter shown, and if I click this here, you will see here these are different options: data, display, current page, all visuals. I will just uncheck this data, and I'll show you later why we have unchecked this. Okay, filter is shown, update this, and now hide the filter pane, and I will show the right rectangle, and I will add this another bookmark. It will be filter hidden. So it could be filter pane hidden or filter hidden. And again, click here, remove the data, and click here, update the data. Now, if I click filter shown, you will see here filter is shown. If I click this filter hidden, filter is hidden. So I want to add this to these buttons now, that if I click this button, so this should happen. And when I click this button, this should happen. So how we'll do that? I will just first of all click on this filter button here, which is here. In action, you will go here, bookmark, and choose the bookmark, filter shown. Great. This is done. And right now, if you click this, of course, action will not perform. But when you have published this report, of course, the action will be on click. But right now, you can do it by control and click. It will show you that. But now you can see here that when I click this button, nothing will happen. So how I can add those actions? So I will just click this action, and here I will be going to bookmark and filter hidden. For this button also, I will click on action, bookmark, and filter hidden. And even if I click this on the black rectangle which we added, so on this also I want to add an action, and here it will be bookmark and filter hidden. So now you click this, you will see here filter is hidden. I'll click this, filter is shown. So now bookmark job is done for the time being. So to get more space here, I will view and I will just remove the bookmark. Now what I need to do here, I need to add a slicer here, because I want to filter these all visuals. So I will be adding those slicers over here, and make sure that you follow the selection here, because this selection has these options right now, and filter pane has two images, shape and filter shape. So filter shape is down, this black one, and then this is the shape, then this is image, this is image. These two images are there. I can bring in the logo also on this, just to make sure that it looks nice. I will just add my branding option here. I will go here to my branding. Maybe I'll add this white logo here, just to show it. And this image should be inside the filter pane, because see, if I just hide it, logo is still there. So I don't want logo to be there on the main page. I want this to be inside the filter pane and top. So now if you see here, if I hide this, logo will also be hidden. If I click this, logo will be shown. Now in this pane, I want to add the slicer. In these, you can see here, this is the slicer option. I will add one slicer here, and here also I will do a proper formatting. But what I want to add here, I want to go to project, and this will be the project status. So I want to see the project status here. Right now you can see completed, in process, not started, but I want to have this as a drop down. So what I'll do, I'll go here, and in slicer settings, I will go here as a drop down. It's up to you how you're comfortable with. Header icons I will remove, because I don't want header icons here. In visuals also, I don't want slicer header. I will be doing the title of the slicer here. It will be project status, and this will be in, maybe its color will be, I will be using yellow color here. And its background, I will go here to effects. I will use the background here. I will in fact use this as a background here. It is like this. So user will feel comfortable if it is 12 size minimum. It's a drop down list. So I will go here to slicer setting, values, and in values it's 12, and font color I want to change it to white so that it will be clearly visible. And of course this one is also its background. I don't want the background to be white. I want the background to be again this. You can see here now the background is here. You can even change it to any other color, for example black. All right, so this is the project status, and here on general, if I go to title, I want to bring it in the center. Yes, now you can see here that the first slicer we have added over here. So I want to see the completed projects, and once I hide this, so you can see here these are completed projects where the 10.5 million was the contract value and 10 million was the budgeted cost. But you can see here now this filter is on the page. It has not been into the filter pane. So what I will do, we'll go back here to the project status. You can see here in selection, I will drag and drop this into the filter pane. Drag and drop this in the filter pane. Now it has disappeared from here. And here, if I click this, it will show here. I can go with this, add in process filter, and you can see here, this is in process right now. So we need to, of course, improve this report right now also. What other options are available? If I go back here to data, what is this? Project name is there, customer ID is there, contract value is there. There is not much that we can add. Of course, start date and end date is there. So we'll do that later. With contract value, I want to add how much revenue I have generated. With the budgeted cost, I want to see what is the actual cost. All right, so these are two visuals here. So I will be going now into the data, and instead of the contract value which came from projects, I will be going to the transactions now. Here is the amount in debit and amount in credit. So if you know accounting, so you will know that usually expenses are always debit, and if I go here to the account, you can see here account types. So account types are either expenses or income. So I can create a DAX function here to see what is expense and what is income. So what we'll do here, there are multiple options. For example, if I want to see debit minus credit, which will be here added. Let me drop one table here that will help you to understand how the transactions look like currently. If I go to visualization, here I will just bring in the table here. And in this table, I will just add the transactions just to see how the transactions will look like. Transactions do have the transaction date, and then it has the account ID. Tables are already linked, so it will come from the account name. I don't want account ID here. I want account name, and I want the debit amount, and I want the credit amount. These are some of the transactions. If I go into the account type also, so there are some expenses, some assets, some is income, and there are some others also. I will be just creating one new column in the transactions. Of course, the column will not be added into the database. It will be only added here. And before that, make sure that you save your work. So I'll do Control S to save whatever I have done. Now I will be clicking here and I will add a new column. It will be debit minus credit, for example. So this will be the column name is equal to debit minus credit. We can simply use this. This is not a measure, this is a column. So we will be able to see total debits minus total credits for an expense. So I will, for this particular budget column, I will add the debit minus credit here. This is the requirement right now. And here I will be adding a filter because I don't want to see all the debits and all the credits. I want to see only the expense here. So I want to filter this. Now here we'll be using that filter section. So if I go here to filter, I will go here and I will drag and drop account type in this particular visuals. Now you can see here, these are different sections here. You can add this to the page, which means that on this specific page, this filter will be added. I don't want the expense filter, account type filter, for example, expense. I don't want this filter to be added to other visuals. So if I add it, for example, if I remove it from here, and if I add the account type to the page, and if I filter this by expense, so all the visuals will be automatically changed, which I don't want. I want only expense to be added to the visual. So what I'll do, I will just go back here. I will add the account type here to the visual, and it will be expense. Now you can see here my total expenses are 250,000 for open projects. Though these are all other debits, but out of these debits, if I see only expenses, for example, if I filter this visual also with the expense account type for this particular visual, expenses only, so you will see here 250,000. So these are the expenses that has occurred during this. So of course, if there is any reversal of this, it will be credited. So that's why I have done debit minus credit to make sure that it takes the net of all the debits and credits related to expenses. I can of course now change the name of this. So it will be total expenses, or it will be actual cost, because in project management we say budgeted cost and actual cost. This is the actual cost of the project as of now. And here the contract value, I want to add credit minus debit of income. So if I go here to this one, now if I filter this, for example, as an income, so my total income is 90,000. Income is always on the credit side. So what I'll do now, I will just go here to this particular visual. I can even drag and drop the credit side also, but I will create a new column again here, which will be credit minus debit. So new column. So I want to take credit minus debit as an income and debit minus credit as an expense. It will be credit in underscore debit as a column name equals credit minus debit. And I'll show you why I have done this. I could even add debit minus credit here also. If I show you here, for example, debit minus credit, and in account type filter on this particular visual, I will be using income. You can see here it shows minus 90,000 as a debit minus credit. Debit minus credit and credit minus debit is same, but income is always on the plus side. So I will be, that's why, using credit minus debit for the income and debit minus credit for expense. So those who know accounting, they will understand why I'm doing this. So here you can see now my total income contract value is this, but my total income as on today is 90,000 only. So what I'll do, I will just change its name to actual revenue. All right, so this is what has happened so far, that my contract value is this and my actual revenue is here. All right, so I will be just removing this now from here. And now if I again go to the filters now, filter. So if I go here to completed projects now, you can see here that the projects filters are filtered, but the actual revenue and actual cost remains same, because this is for all the projects. You can see here, this doesn't change. Only the projects are changing, but these are not changing, because the filter is coming from the projects table, but not from the transactions table. But if you remember, transactions do have the project ID, but why it is not filtering? Because there is a problem in the relationship. So I will go back here to model view, and wherever there is a relationship between the project and the transactions, I will double click that, and I will make sure that the cross filter direction is both. So it should not be single, it should be both. I will choose both here and save. Now what will happen if I go back here, and when I add the filter here, you see here in the project status, if I see completed, so completed projects has this much revenue and this much actual cost, and in process the actual revenue is this much and here is the cost. If I just unfilter this, you can see here, this is how it is happening. Now we need to add more filters also here, and I want to add some visuals also here. Let me drop another visual, which will be maybe a chart here that will show me the progress of maybe actual cost and actual revenue, and this will be over the period. So time series for the expenses, and transaction date is x-axis, and the actual cost, debit minus credit. But I will show you the problem here now. Actual cost and actual revenue. And in filters, I will remove expense. And here I will be choosing account type as income and expense. Income and expense. So I want to see side by side income versus expense. But if you see here in transactions, there is no way to find that, because in transactions, if it is income, it doesn't show me as income. If it is expense, it doesn't show me as expense inside the same table. So that's why first I added the DAX function as a basic, but we can now add the DAX function. So if I go back here, credit minus debit, I want to use this to show only the income here. Transaction amount credit minus amount debit. Of course, this is not only the case, and we want account type where it is income. So I'll just show you. Let me get data from the table and we'll see how it works. If I show you this table, and these are the transactions, these are, of course, what was that? It was sum of income. You can see here income also shows expenses value. So maybe the account type will show here, but the value should be 0 for the expenses. Value should only be there for the income. So I want income. If the income is there, then it should show. If the income is not there, it should show 0. So this is what I will do in the income column now. So what I'll do, I need to first of all add a if statement. So an if statement will be added if, and as you know that I have let me go back again here. Let me show you that table first. These are the tables, and transactions are linked to account. And I want if the account type is income. So account type is again a related table to transactions. So I will do if. So it will be related and accounts. And in accounts, it will be account type. And this will be is equal to expense. Then what it will do, it will be transactions amount debit minus credit. Otherwise, it will be 0. Now you can see here that if it is, it should be amount credit minus debit. Okay, it should be income in fact, because we are talking about income here. So if the account type is income, so then it should be credit minus debit, otherwise 0. Now you see here, if the amount is expense or any other transaction, it won't show anything. Let me, from this particular filter, let me remove the other types also, because these are having other transaction types also. But I want to show if there is an income, it will show, otherwise it will be 0. So now we have added this as an income. If I go here to actual revenue, I can just get income. I don't need any other filter now. So because we have already linked income here, so it will automatically get that income. So for expense also, we'll do the same thing here. Income, I will simply copy this DAX function now, and for the debit minus credit, so instead of debit minus credit, I'll just paste it here. Instead of income, it will be expense, and here the type will be expense, and here it will be, instead of credit minus debit, I will do debit minus credit. So what it will do, if it is expense, then it will be debit minus credit. If it is not expense, it will be 0. Now I will just bring this to this visual. So you can see here sum of income, sum of expense. I will just get the expense column over here. You will see here now that if it is expense, it will show here. If it is income, it will show here. So now for this particular visual, if I remove this filter for expense, because the amount is already expense amount, so you can see here now it is fine. Now with this, what we can do, we can get the expenses versus income here. So how it will be done? Again, transaction is x-axis, and here I will add on y-axis income, and on y-axis also I will add expense. So you can see now income versus expenses together. by month, maybe I can use the bar chart here. So these are expenses versus income. So I will just go here to the text and I'll change its color to this here. And for the labels, I will again change income and expenses. And I also want to change the color of these. You can see here that in some months the expense is only recorded and in some months the income is only recorded. So these are by date, in fact. So if I, instead of transaction date, if you want to go by transaction month, because this is only for the year 2024, if I go to calendar table, it will show me the hierarchy of the date also here. Date hierarchy, and I will bring in the month. By month, now you are able to see in this month there was income recorded, expense was not recorded. So I want to change the color of this also. Y-axis values also I will show as color in white, and its title, if the title is there, so I will also change it to white. You can see here values, and then x-axis also I will change the value to white, so you will see here. And maybe the title is there, so I will change the title also, income versus expenses. Title is this, so income and expenses by month. This is fine, but I want to change the bars here. So we'll be going here to columns, and in columns for series income, I will be changing it to that green color which we added. And for expenses, we'll choose expenses and we'll be choosing that pink color for the expenses. Now you can see here this is matching with that, so it will be one visual here. And we can now remove this column here. And if I go back here to the filters now, and if I choose the filter in process, automatically the values are changing for in process, for started, and for all the projects. So I want to filter only in process. So what is the status of the in process projects? Actual cost is this, actual revenue is this, and revenue has been booked by these months, and the cost has been booked by these months. I want to add the percentage also, and I want to also add some filters here for the customer, that okay, for a specific project I want to see it. And let's also go to sections here and make sure that this new visual which we have added, these are outside the pans which we have added, filter pan and here. Now you can see here, if I go back here, filter. All right, so in process, I want to add one more filter here, which will be that in case I want to monitor the progress of a specific project. So what will be that project? For example, I want to see for a specific project, what was the contract value, what is the budgeted cost, and what is the actual revenue, and what is the actual cost. So what I'll do here, I'll go here to project, and this time I will be taking the project name. Of course, ID is the ID, but the project name is extremely important here. So here is project name which has been added. Of course, it is hidden right now, it is not visible. So where is that? Let me hide this. Here is this project status. So I will be just bringing it up to the filter pane. So I will take it to filter pane. And now if I show you that, here are all the projects. So I will choose, for example, 5G network expansion. So for 5G network expansion, actual cost is this much, and contract value and budgeted cost is here. Actual revenue is not yet booked for this. So this way we can have options like, for example, AI driven marketing platform, AI enhanced cybersecurity system. The project is there, but it has not got any transactions, blockchain asset management. So you can filter these all by the projects now. All right, so this is done. I will create a new measure inside project. So I will go here, new measure. It will be percentage invoiced equals sum of income, which we have already created here, divided by sum of contract value. And I will not multiply it by 100. Let me show you why we are doing that. So it will create a percentage invoiced, percentage invoiced. All right. So I will be just adding it here, another visual. So for this visual, I want to see the percentage invoiced. Percentage invoiced. I will just add this over here. Format. I need to, of course, do the formatting here. So what is the format of this? So I will just go here to general, data format, and the percentage invoiced will be format here, percentage. And same way I want to add the percentage of the cost, actual cost versus the budgeted cost. So what we'll do here in project, I will create a new measure which will be percentage cost, and it will be sum of transactions and it will be expenses, and these will be divided by, or we can also use even divide function also here. So if I do divide sum of expenses and sum of projects budgeted cost, now percentage cost, bring it here again. I will go to formatting, general, and data formats, percentage of cost format will be percentage. 0.25% is the actual revenue booked against the contract value, and 0.74% is the actual cost incurred against the project value. So all the projects, of course, but if I want to filter a specific project, for example, this project, so you can see here 23% cost is captured against this project. Now again, I will just make sure that this particular card is outside the pans. The visual call out label I will change, and it's maybe call out value also. I will just change the size to maybe 20. The call out value is there. Category label I will not add it, and I'll show you why I'm doing this. Now I want to separate this line with this line, so I will just copy this line again here. Now I want to add one visual here which will show me the contract value by status. Maybe copy and paste here. It will be a donut chart maybe, and here I will not show all of these. So this will be just for the purpose of creating a good design. So visual, slices, and spacing I will change here. I want to add that when the latest revenue was booked, I want to add here, and when the actual cost was booked, I will add it here. So of course it will be from the transactions, so I will get the transactions, and for this particular maybe date option, so I will add it here, and I will add the category for this as well. So if I go here to the title, and I will add latest transaction, and here it will be, I will change it to green and center, and maybe the size will be small here. So latest transaction for sales, and I will filter it for the account type, which will be income. For this visual only, it will be income. So when was it last recorded? 6th June 2024. And if I do the same for expense also, I'll just insert a shape, and I want to add this shape here, and this will be green color, the same color that we had. Format, shape, style, color, this one, and for this I will be adding now I want to show the accumulated cost and accumulated revenue over the period, because we want to see how the project is progressing. Because here it doesn't show the accumulated cost, it shows the per month cost. I want to see the accumulated cost by month. So we'll be using that through a DAX function. This will be a line chart, which will be time series line chart, but I want to show the expenses over a period of time. So let me first of all go to the visual, and I want to use this line chart just to show the project progress. Because right now you can see here the income is there, it should show me that over a period of time how the income is increasing and how the expenses are increasing. So for that I will of course use the accumulated expenses. I will go into transactions in fact, and I will add a new measure here. So what will be that measure? Accumulated expenses. And how we'll calculate the accumulated expenses? We will be calculating by using the function calculate, and this function will be in fact sum of expenses which we have already created. And here we will do filter, and what will be filtered here? Filter will be all the transactions, all from transactions where the transaction date is less than or equal to max of transaction date of that specific date, of course. So it will be till that date, what were expenses till that date. Okay, we close the filter, we closed everything now. So here, so this was for expenses, of course, accumulated expenses. Now if I drag and drop, instead of this expense, if I drag and drop accumulated expense, what will happen? You can see expenses over the period of time has been increasing. So in January it was 0, 0, 0, and then accumulated expense remained 20,000, and then suddenly it increased, and so on. Now we want to do the same for income also. I can copy this and I can now create accumulated income. I will create a new measure, and in new measure I will paste it, and instead of accumulated expenses I will do accumulated income. And for income, of course, transactions income. That's it. So now accumulated income can be brought instead of income for that month. So I will just bring in accumulated income. Now you will be able to see here that income remained same, but expenses kept on increasing. So I will just change the names here. Color. So I will go to visual, and in visual I'll go to lines, and in lines I'll choose accumulated expenses, and I will change its color to pink. So for entire year in 2024, how the income has been recorded and how the expenses has been recorded. So this is the project. Of course, project is for multiple years. So until the project is completed, we cannot book the revenue. So that's the reason revenue is less than the expense, which is fine. So here I can also add the filters for the date for a specific duration of the transactions, what was happening. So I will be just bringing in this shape. Where is that shape? Yeah, this shape needs to be brought into the filter pane. So I will just open filter pane and bring it here, and I will give it a name, date range. And it should be of course above all. And here data, I will be choosing the transactions date, or I can even choose the calendar also. So I will be choosing date range from calendar, and I will drop it to the visual. It will be date range. So this is date range, and here instead of date as a hierarchy, I can just click here and it will be date only. Instead of hierarchy, I'm using date. Now I'll go to visuals here, and in the slicer setting, I will, instead of drop down, I will choose now date range, which will be between. So it will be between this date and that date. So we will just show you here. Now these are two dates which are available but not visible to you. So we'll go for the values, and here font color will be white, and maybe you can add another filter also with customer city. So customer has the city here, so I will be just seeing if the city is already there. So filter city, here, and make sure this text box is inside the filter pan. And this was my logo. I will get it here on the corner, and maybe I will change the size of this. If you see here, we have added the filter button here, and so we can also customize the color here by clicking this canvas setting. Here is the filter pan setting, and I can change the text to maybe the light blue, and the background I will change it to pure black maybe. So here, so the filter pan is black now, and I will not be showing this in the published report because I don't want them to mess around with the filter here. We'll go here to filter and just disable this. Now what is happening here, we have only created one page. I want to now see the detail of this another. This is summary sheet. I will create duplicate of this, and in duplicate I will do project details. Now of course I don't want these because this information is already on the first page, and here also I don't want filter. I will show you that later, that why I don't want filter. So I will be not showing these percentages because on first page it is already there. Why I didn't bring this filter pan and this filter, because if I click hide, so it will go back to the summary page, which I don't want. So for every page you can have the separate filter option here, but I'll show you that how it works. Now suppose if I add the filter here in this one, and suppose it is project status is completed, so will this be applied on the second page? In second page you can see it is not applied. So second page shows me 35 million project value, and summary page shows me 10 million project value. So what has happened here, because the filters are not synchronized across all the pages. So what I want to do here now, I'll go back to summary page here. I will open this filter and I will click the filter one by one, and I will click here sync slicers. If you click on sync slicers, you will click on slice and you will see here where the completed slicer is applied. You can see here it is visible on both pages, but it is not applied on any of the pages. So it will synchronize these both, but it will show only in the project summary. So this is view, where it should show and where it should apply the filter. Yes, I want to apply on both. Here I want to show on the summary sheet, but I don't want to show here. Here again, I don't want to show on the detailed, but I want to apply on both. So same goes for all. So it depends where you want to apply. So you can do it also by here add and sync with all pages. So it will do that. For example, if I click this and add and sync with all pages, so it will add in all pages. If you have 10 pages here, it will show you 10 pages here. All right. So one thing that I wanted to show you here, I like the most, in fact, if I add one more button here, it will be insert, it will be buttons, navigation, page navigator. So this is the page navigator, so which has come here. I will just add this page navigator into the filter pan, and I will just move it down here, and again you can, of course, based on your theme, you can change it. So this way you can have multiple now filter options here. So when I will click from here, now when we had the filter applied everywhere, so if I click this, And if I click the project details, it will show me project details and for all those filters. Of course, we can add the details of visuals also here. So what I want to do here, I want to add the visuals. I want to show the list of the projects. So I can show it by table. And if I copy and paste any other visual from here, it will take the uh, formatting of that. So it's better if I copy this one, this visual, and paste it over here in the details page. And I want to just convert this to table. And this table, of course, you can have the style presets from here. So I want to do the minimal, or I want to have the flashy alternative rows, or I want to have the flashy rows. So it all depends how you want to have. For example, details, sometimes team wants to see the number of projects, the list of projects, and the start date, end date, and so on. So I want to see those details here. So I will go to data, and in visualization, I will just see what is added here. So I don't want date or accumulated expense or income. I simply want the project details from the projects. I want to take the project name, and I want to see who is the customer of this project. So I will take from the customers the customer company name, and then I can choose the city also, in which city or state this project is. All right, so then I can take the contract value, and I can also show the donut chart. I will copy this and I will paste the visual here, and the donut chart by maybe state. So I can show the donut chart by state maybe. So I will take a city maybe, for example, city, and by city, how many projects we have. So project ID, and this will be count of project ID and distinct count. So you can see how many projects are by which city. So I can add the legend is added here. So I will add the data labels also. So there are total 21 projects. So if I just go back to the filter and I remove the filter from here, and instead of completed, I can do this. And I can also add a remove filter option here also. Let me show you that. Images, and in images I will go to buttons, and this will be to remove all the filters. So this is remove filters, and in action I will do clear all slicers. And you can also add the tooltip remove all filters or clear all slices, whatever is there. So second name for this will be this, and make sure that in selection this is added into filter pane. So now what we can do, for example, if you have done these selections in the filters and there were some slicers, this was sliced, and now you want to go back and show all the data without any filter, just click this. It will remove all the filters and you will see entire data. I'll go to project details again here, and you can add more columns also. Project status. Now, of course, this was from the project, but we can also bring the total income and total expense from the transactions now. So if I go back here to transactions, and I can bring total income, not the accumulated one, total income and total expense. So I can bring the expenses after the budgeted cost, and I can bring the income with the contract value. So now you can see here that contract value and budgeted cost is also added. Let me just do the formatting of this so that it becomes easy for you to see it. This makes it so busy. Maybe we can add this some other place, but because this is detailed, so we can play around with the visuals, that which visuals we want to add here. And of course, I need to do the formatting of these numbers also, I don't want to show the decimals and all of that. And maybe I want to show the uh, totals also. I want to have the dark color as the total and text color here as white, or maybe blue. And here, if I go to the specific column, I can choose, for example, sum of income. So I don't want this to be having any decimal places, and I also want in the thousands, so that my column width will be small. So I want to do this for all. Let me do that one by one. And here also you can change the column names. For example, this was sum of income, so I will say it revenue. Its font is very small. I will just go back here to values. Maybe I will change the font size to 12. Yeah, this looks better. And for column headers also I can change the size, and for totals also I can change. But here the percentage, you can see it is not correct here, so I need to do the formatting of data. So I will go here, data formats in the general, and for percentage I will format it as percentage. All right, now you can see here that this detailed table is ready. So project name, company, state, contract value, revenue, revenue percentage, budget, actual cost and cost percentage, and then the status of the project. But if you notice here that contract value is 35 million here, but it shows me 16,000 K, which is wrong here. What I need to do, I need to go to filters maybe, and I need to check what is the problem, because we applied filters to this particular one earlier, maybe income versus expenses. So that's the reason transactions might be filtered accordingly. So I need to remove if any filter is there. Yeah, this one was the filter. Yes, now you can see here, filter should not have been added here. So right now everything is here. So because this is cross filtering, and if I go back here to the module, you can see here that for transactions and projects, I have applied the filters on both sides. So you can see here cross filter is direction on the both sides. So if anything is filtered in the transactions, of course it will also filter the project. So which means that all the projects will not be listed here if you have applied any filter in transaction. So now if I show you, we can of course see if any more column can also be added in case you want to add. If you want to go to summary, you can go here and choose a specific customer city, for example. So I want to see in Atlanta how many projects are there or how many customers are there. So you can see here, this is the status. These are 3 projects which is there, and 1 is in process and 2 are in process and 1 is not yet started. So if I see what is in process and what is happening with that, so contract value is 300K, 285,000 is budget, 50,000 is already spent of this budget. Revenue is not yet booked, or revenue is not yet added. So this is how the report will look like. You can of course create the stunning visual with the help of this. So whole purpose of showing you this report was to show you that how we can apply all these options in the filter, selection and sync sliders. So we have done these all option here, and we have used bookmark also. One thing that I want to show you here is in the modeling, there is row level security that you can apply here. It will be available once it is published. What we can do, we can create those roles here. For example, I want to create by state. In fact, there are different project managers working in different states. So I will be doing that for state. For example, if it is California, so I will be going into the customer, and in customer, I will choose state. So here you can see the state, and if I choose CA, so what will happen here, that if I assign CA role to a specific person, that person will be able to see only projects and the summaries and all of that related to that specific state only. So if I click on view as, and if I click on CA, okay, now all the customers which are related to CA will be filtered here. You can see here there are 14 in fact projects, and if I go to project details here, you can see here that only CA related customers or projects are available here. This is a great way of managing the row level security. I can create multiple roles here. For example, there is a regional manager and there is a regional project manager and so on. I can also create a new role for all. So what we can do that maybe to the people who are not related to any state, they want to see holistic view, they want to see complete without any filters, so you can do it for them as well. And in fact, if a person is related to a specific project only, so you can create a new role for that specific project, and then in the Power BI service you can assign it to that person. So I'll just save it now, and the moment if I will see this report as a role, so what will happen? Let me show you that. View as, if I view as all, not as CA, so what will happen that it will show me all the projects. So when you enable row level security, make sure that you add the all role also, because it will help you to assign the report or assign the data set to the person who doesn't have any role assigned. This way you can have the row level security also enabled. View as, I will do none, so it is not filtered now. So without any filter now I'm able to see this report. So what I'll do now, I will just publish this report to my Power BI service. Everything is ready. I will share this report also with you, and I will also share with you the user ID and password for the database. I will just click here, publish to Power BI service. It is publishing to tutorial. All right, so it has already published. So what I'll do now, I will just go back here and I will open powerbi.com. So here you can see this is the Power BI service. In Power BI service, this report is now available. You can see here, this is available right now. And in fact, what I was saying that in this workspace, now you can see here this tutorial free DB. If I go to the tutorial feedback, click here and there is security. And here you can assign in fact the role level security to the specific user. So I can just click here and choose the email address whoever is using Power BI service. So you want to assign CA role to that person, so that person will be able to access that. If I talk about refreshing data set, which is from the MySQL cloud, so we can go here to refresh history. Right now it is not refreshed, and if I want to refresh now because it is already published on the cloud, I can go here, see the lineage view, open workspace lineage. So you can see here that this particular database is connected to MySQL, but in MySQL I did not add any password here. So there is no connection defined right now. So what I'll do, I will go to MySQL, which is hosted on cloud. So I will go to settings, and in settings we will go here to gateway and connections, and here you can see here MySQL connection is not established. So what I'll do, I will just click here data source credentials. I will edit credentials here. Username, I showed you here database and username were same. I will go here to the Power BI service now. Username I will paste. So I will just paste that password here and sign in. All right, so there is a space, so we had to remove that space here. Sign in. Now it will sign in. You can see here my data source is now connected without the need of the Power BI gateway. So because gateway is not required if it is on cloud. So cloud connection is already there. MySQL is already connected to the cloud. So I'm using personal cloud to connect this. You can also create a new connection, but right now it is mapped already. Now if you see here in my lineage view in MySQL, you can see here connection is successful, basic authentication method is applied, and server is here. So right now I'm doing it without the need of the Power BI gateway. So another thing here is that you can also define the refresh intervals whenever you want to have it. For example, I want to do it for refreshing this on GMT +4 Muscat, and here I want to define daily. I want to update this. This is only the thing that I want. And there is also one option. So premium per user, I'm using license. I can do the incremental refresh also. Instead of doing the refresh of entire database, you can do the incremental refresh. So why incremental refresh will be required? Because only the new transactions might need to be refreshed. So why should you refresh the transactions all the time again and again? So we can also refresh these transactions maybe after every 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, this particular table will be refreshed. So it will be then real-time data for you in the Power BI service if you're using premium per user license. And in order to do that incremental refresh, you can go to Power BI desktop first, and the table in which you want to do that. Of course, there is a workaround. I will show you that in a different video. But here you can click on this and click on incremental refresh. Of course, when you create the incremental refresh, you have to create one M table. So this is for premium user only, premium per user license only. And these settings will apply once you publish the data set. So on which table you want to have, I want to have it on transactions. So we need to set up the parameters in this particular table using query that I'll show you in a different video. So incremental refresh will not be available for all the users, of course. If you are premium per user license, if you're having premium per user license, you will be able to do that. I want to add one information button here, image. So it will be an information button. And the action, I want to add one more section here, which will be information section. So I will be creating a rectangle here. I will cover entire screen. I will be black. All right, so we can add more information like this to help the users to understand that what is there. I will add another image again here to go back. I will select this and I will move it here to make sure that it closes. So the information is here. By default, it will be added as a bookmark. So I will go back here view and I will go here to bookmarks, and I will add I'll just show you here, information will be shown here, and I will add this as show information, and by default the information is hidden here. So if I click here, update and remove data, because we don't want data to be filtered again. So here show filter is shown, so information is hidden. So update, and again filter is hidden, show information. So what we'll do now, we will add the action to these buttons. So one action was that I want to add action on this. So format image, action, and here it will be bookmark, and we can see filter hidden, for example, because it will hide everything. And now if I click this, so we will click on the information button now, and on information button I'll add action, and it will be bookmark, and it will be show information. So if I click show information now, information is shown, but if I click this, it will show the filter, but I don't want to see the filter here. I will go back here. For example, filter hidden. This is the one which I want for the information window. I will click this one, and for this filter hidden, let me see if, yeah, this one works fine now. So if I click on information now, it is showing the information. If I go back here, it goes back. I want to add one more button here, which will be a special button. Let me show you that. What will be that button? So I will do it image, home button will be there. I will just publish this again, publish, publish to Power BI service, save it now. So replace the existing ones. So what I can do now, I can of course refresh this, so it will show me all those buttons also now. If I go to Power BI Premium Service, here you can see these are all the buttons here. So if I click on filter, it will show me the filter, summary page and detailed page. Dataset also, I have provided you the link in the description, so you can download that. The complete dataset which is used for this particular visual, I have provided the SQL backup, so you can import it to any SQL database. How to create the database, I have already shown you. So you can create the database by yourself and then edit the connection link, and then you can start using the same report. So report link and the database backup is already shared with you, so you can use that and you can practice this, and you can also share the report with me the moment you have made it, so that I can understand that what you have understood, and maybe you can do it better than what I have done. Of course, with this limited time and with this limited data which was available, if there is more data, of course we can add multiple DAX functions, multiple visuals can be added, and multiple pages can be added. But for this tutorial, this was enough. I feel that this will give you a better idea on how you can start using the Power BI service and how you can start using stunning visuals on your Power BI. So let's continue to the next video and see what else we can do in Power BI.